We black again, family. We got a powerful topic. We're gonna be talking about the xenophobia is reaching a boiling point in South Africa. I know we showed Julius Malema earlier, but we want to because this is really across the board. This what they call it is in it's around Africa. It's around all black communities on the planet right now. You see, and so I mean, we can look at South Africa, but we in essence got to look at ourselves. I don't know if it have become as violent on and I'm quite sure it's some areas where it is some violence. It may not be talked about in America, but I'm quite sure on some levels, it probably there been some violence between the different groups. I seen some things, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm hearing that, different African nationalities are being, unalived. This is really bad. This is really bad, man. We are deteriorating, and it all comes from running from the truth. Running from the truth. When you see yourself in a state like this, nigga, you know you living a lie. That's it. When you see yourself in a condition like this, know you living a lie. Period. That there gonna have to be a change. You see, you niggas didn't played every card but the Joker. You don't want to play the Joker. You see, you don't want to play the Joker. You done played every card but the Joker. You willing to die for crack, drugs, nigga stepping on your shoe, nigga saying something, that you think was disrespectful, nigga ready to crash out, ready to go get the switch, shoot up 100 people, trying to get one or two, or just being just a demonic entity and wanting to shoot the people up anyway because they might be a relationship to the person you trying to hit. So yeah, it's most definitely, as we South Africa, we got to look at ourselves though. I don't, this is a chance to say, look at what we got going on over here because we killing a lot of people right here in the United States. So it is, but as we speak, right, right talk, right energy, righteousness to our people wherever we see it. This is what Pan Africanism is about. When you see your brothers and say, oh, well, that's them. No, you're supposed to say at least put some frequency in the air. Let them see some videos, but at the same time, they're gonna say, well, look, nigga, you over there doing a lot of killing too. You over there doing a lot of killing of your own brothers and sisters too. You got a problem too. And a lot of other nations got problems too. They may not in particularly, and they might be. It might not be as broadcasted as what's going on in South Africa. So, it's a lot of shit going wrong in all these nations. But at the same time, as we say to South Africa, in love. We want our people to wake up just like we want them to wake up right here, anywhere they at. That's what Pan Africanism is: the love to see our people doing right, whether they doing right or not. The love to want to see our people doing right. It's Pan Africanism. You got to speak to the upliftment of the people, saying, look, y'all could do better than this shit, and turn right around and look in the mirror and tell yourself the same shit because it's going on right over here in the United States too. On an escalated level. You know what I'm saying? The top 10 cities, and even above the top 10 cities, shit, you probably can say the top 20 is out of control. You know what I'm saying? That's on the crime list, out of control. Probably can go above 20 and go into 30, and you got some out of control shit, way above and beyond, civilized society. You know what I'm saying? Way and above a civilized society. So when I speak out to South Africa, I had to look in the mirror and say, look what we doing. Look what's going on in our own house. But you speak to wherever you see something, it ain't that and that's what make it real. When you can look at self and say, yeah, we saying we got this same shit going on, then it's more respectable, But a lot of the, South Africans probably looking at it in a way like, yeah, y'all motherfucker, yeah, we might be doing some ignorant shit, but what the fuck is you doing? And a lot of the other nations got some shit going on too. It may not be on, it may not be that particular lane, but it's some bullshit that need to be addressed. Violence. It's a whole lot of countries with a whole lot of violence going on. Now, and I will say this, and this is not to, South Africa got some really, man, I crime going on, amongst themselves. You see what I'm saying? And this is what I don't like, because I brought that up, in some videos back where I realized that South Africa had a lot of crime, and that don't mean the people not good. That don't mean there's not no good-hearted people there. That's not what I'm saying. But it is what it is. We're not gonna sweep it up under the rug just because, yeah, okay, yeah, it is some good, but it's a lot of fucking crime. And the crime is coming from the fact that you got a majority of people without anything. You see, because the white minority has seized the land. So that's really what it is. And so people feel that they gotta take, you see, the get and shit and whatever. It's a lot of taking, it's a lot of killing. And man, some of them cities, the murder rate, man, is unbelievable. Some of them cities got 2,000 murders. 2,000, not 200, 2,000. I say, whoa, whoa, close to 3,000. Whoa. Do you hear what I'm saying? Chicago had about 800 murder, 800 murder about 5, 6 years back, which was atrocious. You see, some of them, but damn, over 2,000 going toward near 3,000 murders. I think it was three. And there was a couple of other, it was about 4, 5 cities on the, I was looking up murder capital. Man, listen here. South Africa got about 2 or 3 cities in the top 10. 2, 3, or 4 cities in the top 10. Do you hear what I'm saying? They got some cities up there in the top 10 worst cities on the planet. But niggas didn't say nothing when that was going on. No, and it wasn't no out. To me, it's like, whoa, what's going on with my people in South Africa? I'm not saying it to be disrespectful. Like, whoa, this way too much. What do we need to do, man? You need to all that shit. You might as well go and take that to the Neanderthal. If you gonna lay that many people down in South Africa, well, you gonna lay down 3 in this city, 2 in this 2,000. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not putting it, I seen the shit for myself. A lot of these cities, and I thought, because I was saying, man, everybody try to say that Black America is so bad. I said, well, what if I went to look up the murder capital, and it took me to the worst cities in the world. Man, it was only a couple of cities in America even got on the list. And them motherfuckers was down damn near the bottom. You understand what I'm saying? Man, damn near 50% of the fucking cities was in South America, Central America, and South America. Over 50% of the worst cities in the world was South America and Central America. Man, them motherfuckers was in the 1,500 murders, not 800, not nigga, not 200, not 300, 1,500, 1,700, 2,000. And I believe the top, man, was either, man, that I don't know which one it was. It was either Johannesburg or, man, that motherfucker was at 3,000 murders. I say, whoa, whoa, that's crazy. That's a crazy number. That's a crazy fucking number, man. That's almost like battlefield shit. You see what I'm saying? That's almost like a battlefield. But see, I'm not saying this to, but I'm like, damn, what's going on with our family down there for it to be like that? You know what I'm saying? Not in disrespect, but like, whoa, wait the fucking minute. You know what I'm saying? What is y'all got going on, man, for the people to be so damn violent like that, man? You know what I'm saying? But nobody says shit. But when they get into, and a couple of people have been unalive and they marching and they whooped a couple motherfuckers, which I don't agree with, it's all over the news. But when these 3,000 murders and you got 5 cities and shit damn near at 2,000 and above, nobody's saying a fucking thing. Like, and this is the crazy shit that we didn't fucking where we didn't normalize these murders. You know what I'm saying? Niggas over here, you come from cities that been, killing people forever. Niggas like, no, like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, whoa, and niggas want, idolize some of that shit. Like, man, niggas is done with all that whole shit. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody want to hear nothing about that. Them was days of terror and shit. You know what I'm saying? Terror. Plain and simple, just a fucking terror on the site. Ain't got over it yet. It fucked a lot of people up. Mentally, if you was in that, you can go from 0 to 100 like nigga, like in a blink of an eye. You know what I'm saying? It traumatized you, nigga, because you so in a defensive mode. In case somebody try to do something, you already thinking about defense and shit. And then so if a nigga say something to you, you come from out of that, you traumatized, nigga. You will go off and fuck around, nigga, the slightest shit, nigga, will cause a nigga let one of them things go. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. So, this is not nothing. It just show you the trauma that our people then went through just living through this shit. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, it's a lot of shit going on, and not only in South Africa, but all over. We got to look to what's, and it should be addressed. It should be addressed. But when you think about the killings that go on in each of the cities, it's far above even what the fuck they talking about. The xenophobia is really a issue, but it ain't the biggest issue. The biggest issue is why the fuck the murder rates is so high in the city anyway, and ain't nobody been talking about. But that ain't hitting the news. You know what I'm saying? That ain't hitting the fucking news. But we want our people to understand that at the end of the day, revolution is the only solution. And if you're gonna take the time to rack that many bodies up, you might as well go for the gusto. You know what I'm saying? You might as well go for the gusto and get control. And I'm just being 100. If you're gonna lay that many people down, let it be your enemy. You feel what I'm saying? If you willing to lay down 3,000 here, 2,000 here, 2 over here, and motherfucker, let it be your enemy. That's a lot of bodies. You might as well get something for that. You know what I'm saying? If you willing to, you know what I'm saying? But the same motherfuckers that'll do that, they'll cry when they get ready to take their ass to jail. As soon as they get busted, they ain't ready to do that. That's where the punk shit come in. You got self-hate. That shit is fucking one of the most chronic diseases of all time. That self-hate, where you can kill something that look like you, but then the enemy, nigga, you won't even throw a water balloon at his ass. But anyway, family, to our family all around the world that's looking, stay strong, move forward. Black power. We got a beautiful history that we can feed off of. You know what I'm saying? That can guide us in the right way. You down there, Shaka Zulu. You already know. Shaka Zulu, you already know. Shaka then already showed you the way. Shit, I don't even know what the problem is. When you got somebody in your lineage like Shaka Zulu, shit, you already know what the solution is. You ain't no people unaware of the solution. You got Shaka Zulu on your in your lineage. Damn, nigga, it's in your DNA. Unlock your DNA and go for broke. You feel what I'm saying? All right, family. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Click the link uh at the top of the chat, Patreon, and I'll see y'all tomorrow or later on today. Black Power.